everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Tara Arnold and tonight I'm going to be talking about physical ascension symptoms. So I'll be sharing all the products, practices, and services that I've used over the past few years to help alleviate some of those physical ascension symptoms. I've also done other videos on physical ascension symptoms and gone into detail about all the symptoms to look for. I will put those links in the description below if you'd like to see those. And before we begin, I just want to remind everyone that there's a live event this weekend, Saturday, November 22nd, and it's about transmuting your traumas. I'm going to be channeling the Ascended Masters. They'll bring through messages and light code frequencies. It's different for everyone. Your spirit will bring to the surface what it's ready to release at this time. All the details are in the description below. So I'm just going to start by explaining what physical ascension symptoms are, and it's when you're on your spiritual awakening journey, your spirit's getting louder than your ego, so you begin to transmute all dark back to light and fears back to love from your past lifetimes that you haven't yet transmuted because the other lifetimes you believed that God was something outside of yourself. That source energy was something outside of yourself. Now in this lifetime, we're awakening to remembering we are all energy, that nothing's separate from us, that God's within us, and so that gives us the power to transmute it. When your spirit begins to awaken, you'll start searching for channels like this or information on what's happening. And as the Kundalini arises within all of us that are awakening, you don't have to meditate for 20 years for it to happen. If your spirit has chosen to awaken, it's rising up, the Kundalini energy. She knows what she's doing. I have a video on that. I'll put it in the link in the description below. But the Kundalini energy is a feminine energy, and she transmutes up through each chakra, your 7 main chakras. Sometimes you'll notice that you're having symptoms in 1 chakra at a time or 2 chakras at a time. It's always different for everybody. And these physical ascension symptoms feel like medical issues or medical illness because your physical body is releasing, as it's transmuting back to love, your physical body is releasing this, and it's like a filter system, the physical body. And our egos will judge the symptoms as something bad or dangerous. Then you begin to experience more pain or more uncomfortableness because your fears make you believe that it's something worse than it is. So the physical body is like the filter system for all these emotions, these past lifetime emotions that haven't been transmuted back to love or from childhood. So how do you know if it's a physical ascension symptom that you're having, that something's transmuting back to love from a past lifetime? Is a lot of times the symptoms will be very unusual and they won't be consistent, like they're fleeting. They'll come and go. Like you might feel like your brain swells up for an hour and then it goes away, or you're having pain or numbness or tingling down your arms for a few minutes, or electric shocks going through your body, and it's fleeting. It comes and goes. You might feel like you have a fever for 20 minutes and then it goes away, and then another fever comes an hour later and then it goes away. So it kind of like fleets. It's like up and down. And if you're really concerned about something, I recommend that you go to a doctor, see a physician, so that you can remove the fears. So if you're having chest pain and you're thinking it's a heart attack and it's your heart chakra transmuting something back to love, you'll know because when you get to the hospital or you get to a doctor, and while you're visiting the doctor, all your symptoms will go away, and that's spirit, that's your spirit guide showing you it's a physical ascension symptom. Your blood work will be fine. There won't be anything wrong with the tests that they do at the hospital. Then you leave, your symptoms might come back. So if you feel like you need to go to a hospital or a doctor, then do that, because doing that will remove a lot of the fears. You'll just know, okay, it was a physical ascension symptom. So some of the practices that I've used over the years to help alleviate some of the physical ascension symptoms is grounding, meditation, mindfulness. You can find videos on those on YouTube. There's also, when you go to ground, I find that bringing in the universe to assist with your grounding, like asking God or your spirit guides to assist you with the grounding, then the two energies together, like your spiritual body and then the universe's energy, combine, and it will pull you in and ground you a lot stronger. And so that you're more sturdy and your spirit doesn't keep stepping out of your body. So it's putting your spiritual body and fully integrating it into your human body. Like, really be firm with that and set boundaries. Tell your spirit, you don't have to keep stepping out of your body. We don't have to be afraid of all these physical ascension symptoms. Bring the spirit back into your body. Make your spiritual body feel safe to wear this human costume and be fully integrated into your human body, and then expanding out so that you have your full essence. So you're going to walk in every room expanded and present. And so doing like mindful practices. If you're getting tired of meditation, then I recommend to create something. So create something for 15 minutes a day that's just being present with something like color or paint or sing or dance. Do something that's creative. That will put you into a high frequency. So anything to raise your vibration, connecting with anything that you did as a child will raise your vibration. Connecting with children will raise your vibration. Connecting with animals will raise it. Music. So just finding things that work for you, not necessarily doing stuff that works for everyone else, but like find your own thing with that. And the next thing is sound healing. I've used a lot of sound healing. So on YouTube, again, you can find lots of videos on sound healing. There's Tibetan singing bowls, there's drumming, there's shaman circles or drumming circles that you can join in your communities. There's different types of sound healing, like there's tuning forks, there's different frequencies that you can find on YouTube to play to balance the energy of your chakras and balance the energy of your like auric field, to cleanse out your auric field. You can also use sage to cleanse out the auric field. And chakra balancing, so if you listen to Tibetan singing bowls for the chakras, that'll balance your chakras. So if you're noticing that you're having a lot more physical ascension symptoms in one certain chakra, you could just add more things for that chakra, like eat colored foods of that chakra. So if you have a lot going on in your sacral chakra, that's orange, so eat more orange foods, wear more orange clothes, connect with the color orange more. Look up the sound frequencies for each chakra and find those on YouTube and listen to those. Also, there is chanting, so listening and doing chanting. There's lots of chanting videos on YouTube as well, and that raises your vibration and helps to transmute and helps the body to release through these physical ascension symptoms. So spiritual alchemy with Saint Germain, that's another thing that I do. So you can call in Saint Germain, command that you evoke the violet flame within you, and you and Saint Germain can do some work with the violet flame to transmute those dark back to light, fears back to love back rather quickly, and so that the body will release. Talking to your physical body will help as well. So talking to the physical body and telling it that it's safe to have these emotions pass through you, that you don't have to hang on to them or judge them. So it's just being present with them. You can talk to the Kundalini energy. I've talked about that in my video of the Kundalini. And so you can do that as well, and it will, and like be firm in setting boundaries with the Kundalini energy and doing it at certain times rather than all at once. Just because you're on a spiritual journey doesn't mean that you have to be always doing something spiritual. Like, you're allowed to take breaks, you can command it. It's your reality, it's not spirit's reality. So you decide what you want and when you want it, and set boundaries with the universe. You just tell the universe, like, I'm going to be having a day at work or taking care of my children. I command that the Kundalini energy pull back so that I can enjoy my time with my children today. I don't want to be transmuting all day and feeling physically ill. So setting boundaries is an important one and being firm with it. Another practice that I've done is EFT tapping, and that helps to transmute emotions back to love and change belief systems, the old beliefs that you have. And it's tapping acupressure points. I will put the link to the YouTube channel of Brad Yates. He has lots of great videos that you can tap on and release emotions, and that sometimes helps with like letting things go. And then doing any type of body work, so massage, chiropractor, reflexology, Reiki, Qigong. There's several different energy healing, sound healing, frequencies, any kind of body work or body work practitioners that you can see in your area. If you want some help outside of yourself, if you're getting tired and you just need some self-care, then go get some body work done. Or if you want to do some body work for yourself, you could do some energy healing on yourself. You don't need to have taken Reiki. You can just put the intention that you'll use the universal energy around you to do some healing, and you'll feel heat coming out of your hands over the area that you're using. You don't need to take a whole bunch of courses. You're all awakening, so you have access to that energy all around you. And doing things like lymph brushing or using acupressure points. You can look up videos on YouTube if you want to do your own reflexology. There's lots of videos on reflexology points or acupressure points that you can use. Instead of going to an acupuncturist, you could do acupressure yourself, and you just look up the area and look on YouTube and find videos for acupressure points and do those points. That helps move the energy. So any type of body work that will help the physical body feel a little bit more loved and taken care of. So if you want to do body work yourself at home and not go out anywhere, you can purchase some equipment for that. Like there's massagers for the neck and shoulders, or for reflexology for the feet, like you could get a foot massager. There's a lymph brush if you want to get one of those and brush the lymphatic system through the body. You can take hot baths and get a filter for the bathtub if you live in the city that will take out all the minerals and chemicals so that the bath isn't full of chemicals. So that would be good for the physical body. There's an acupressure mat that you can get and lay on at home. I use it to help unblock chakras and to help move like energy through the fascia if my fascia's tight, or cupping, like the cupping that if you went for a massage, sometimes they'll use cupping. You can get a set yourself at home. So I have a few of these things. I purchased them off Amazon, and I will put the links in the description below. I'm an Amazon influencer, so if you did use those links, it just means that this channel gets a commission for it, but it doesn't affect the price at all. But these are the products that I found worked really, really well for physical ascension symptoms. Was those two are my favorite, is the cupping and also the acupressure mat. Those ones I still use all the time. Other things I just use once in a while, but those ones I'll usually use the acupressure mat 10 minutes in the morning or 10 minutes at night. Sometimes I won't need it both times, but I do find that it helped a lot. I also use it to stand on, so it's similar to like going outside and walking on rocks to stimulate the bottom of your feet for reflexology points or acupressure points. I will stand on my acupressure mat, and I also tap the bottom of my feet to get the energy moving from the kidney and bladder. So with the physical ascension symptoms, there's a lot of fight or flight. There's a lot of nervous system and stress and cortisol and adrenal stress. So tapping the bottom of your foot right in the center where the kidney meridian is, you can look it up online to see where your kidney meridian starts. If you tap the bottom of your foot in the morning to kind of get you going, that will help with like that high stress level, the high cortisol release, and the adrenal fatigue. So there's different types of tapping you can do. I will put a video below on tapping. It's like 8 points that you tap every day, like 36 times, and that helps all the meridians get moving. I will put a YouTube video in the description below for that as well. So all of these things I used, I found really, really helpful. And I just want to go over the 5 senses and how your 5 senses change as you're awakening. So as we're awakening, all our psychic abilities begin to open up, all our intuitive abilities. And the universe uses the 5 senses to enhance those abilities. So you might get shown messages from spirit or source energy, from your spirit guides or from your higher self through your 5 senses. So what happens is, as you're awakening, you might find that your 5 senses are enhanced quite a lot. So I'm going to go over what I do for, like, to make it more comfortable in those areas. So the first thing, the eyes, you can get blue light computer glasses, or you can turn on the night light on your computer for that blue light, and that will help, because as you are becoming more intuitive, it's like your pupils seem to get bigger. It's like the third eye is opening, and so you're more sensitive to light, I find. I also wear these in the sunshine. These are my third eye glasses, and I wear them sometimes in the day, like in the house in the day, but I also wear them outside. I get a lot of compliments on them, and these, I will put the link for them in the description below if you'd like a pair of third eye sunglasses. I do find it just kind of keeps everything calm and helps with that intense light. So you might become hypersensitive to noise on your spiritual awakening journey, because as the third eye opens, everything with the nose, the eyes, the ears, the mouth, all this area gets shaken up. And so if you're finding you're having periods where you're really hypersensitive to noise, or you have misphonia where you're agitated with noise, then you can get ear calmers. You wear them 24 hours a day, and they're made of silicone. And I will put the link in the description below. It cuts out that high-end noise and it makes you feel calmer. So they're called ear calmers. They're just silicone. So it's just the way that your brain perceives the sound. It takes out like the high-end pitch. So it's easier to tolerate sounds. Okay, and the next thing is for the mouth. So your taste might change. Through the ascension symptoms, you might start having fears of being poisoned just because past lifetimes are coming up. You might have inflammation in the mouth. As you're learning to speak your truth, a lot of stuff can go on. So you can get things like, there's probiotics for good gum health. There's also like oil pulling. Some people oil pull, so you can Google that if you'd like to oil pull. Always ask your physician, of course, if you do any of these things. But there's mouth tape if you're having like a lot of apnea, sleep apnea, or if you're snoring, you could tape your mouth. There is mouth tape that you can get. I will put a link for that. And what happens when you tape the mouth is that the tongue won't fall back, and so it prevents that sleep apnea or the snoring. So if you're not getting good sleep, sometimes mouth tape will help. Or getting, like, if you're finding you're clenching a lot because there's a lot of anger coming up from past lifetimes, that will give you like TMJ. So you could get like a bite plate from your dentist. And eating healthier foods, you might find that all of a sudden you're tasting, because your sense of taste increases, you might find that if you're using like dish soap that has fragrance in it, you might start tasting that fragrance, because it's like you're tasting deeper. So you're tasting into things deeper. So you might find that eating a more clean diet, it might help like with the taste, so that you're not tasting so many chemicals. I found that as we're awakening, like, you can taste any chemicals that they use in foods. like on a very deep level. So it just changes. It changes your taste. Also, spirit uses a lot of messages through the taste. So you might get messages like, they can give you messages, say that if something you're eating is not good for you, it might start tasting like perfume or like mold, to tell you to stop eating it. So there's also that as well. So just take notice. Am I getting a message? Am I clearing a past lifetime? Am I having a phobia of being poisoned? There's a lot of poison stuff coming up, he's showing me, for like a lot of people. So you might find those things happen. Okay, and then the sensitivity to touch might increase. You might start to feel things more. So using different things that I had mentioned earlier, like the acupressure mat, you could use a weighted blanket if you're having a hard time calming down or sleeping. You might want to try a weighted blanket, and that kind of presses on acupressure points and will help like stimulate everything. There's also like heating pads, Epsom salts, or natural bath detoxes. So you can look up online any natural bath detox that you can put in your bathtub to help maybe calm you in the evening before you go to bed. So using products like that, and the ones that I mentioned earlier, like for massage and any kind of body work for the touch, the sensitivity to touch. So in smells, sometimes your smell will increase through periods of your physical ascension, and sometimes you won't be able to tolerate smells, so you could wear a mask, or there's nose plugs that you can get to block the smells of things. I find that during different things that I'm clearing, like when it's clearing the third eye a lot, the smells increased quite a bit. I also get a lot of messages through smells. So again, is it a physical ascension symptom or spirit giving you a message through your smells? So for example, if I smell sugar, then I'll know the person I'm talking to is diabetic, or they're addicted to sugar, or like it could mean a few different things. So then you ask more questions. So for physical ascension symptoms, talking to your physical body, talking to the universe, asking questions, asking about the physical ascension symptom and what it means, and talking to the body and asking to release it with ease and not being afraid of them. That's the most important thing, is like observing them without judgment and letting go of the fear of these symptoms. You get very strange symptoms. So you'll find out, if you don't know all the symptoms, you'll find out in other videos I have, like there was quite a bit we went through, and yeah, there's a lot of strange symptoms. And a few other things that I use for physical ascension symptoms, like for the solar plexus, I used a lot of herbal teas like peppermint or ginger if I was having stomach upset as that chakra was clearing. I found sometimes I can't eat, and sometimes I'm really hungry. Sometimes I can't eat meat, and other times I can. So just be gentle with your body as you're going through this physical ascension symptoms with the solar plexus. There's also this accidentally poisoning yourself with like foods that are going to trigger you. Like maybe you eat something and then after you realize it's expired, you're just clearing fears about past lifetimes where you were poisoned. That might come up. He's showing me that's coming up for a lot of people that are awakening. So it's safe, you're okay. It's just, it's bringing up the fears from the past lifetime in order to transmute them. And you can use crystals for physical ascension symptoms. There's lots of information on the internet. Pick the crystals that resonate with you and use them in your own way to help assist with physical ascension symptoms and transmuting dark back to light, fears back to love. And have fun with it. Don't be afraid of any physical ascension symptom. It's just passing through. Your Kundalini energy knows what it's doing. Your spiritual body's consciousness is in charge, and it knows what it's doing. And remember to have fun, because the more you can raise your vibration and the happier and more joy that you feel, the higher your vibration will be, and it will be easier for these physical ascension symptoms to flow through you. You can sage your auric field. You can sage your house after people visit, to clear out the energy and maintain a state of calm in your house. Also working with the vagus nerve. There's lots of information on the internet on how to reset your vagus nerve, so find YouTube videos for that to calm the nervous system. So a lot of it's just calming the nervous system, because your physical body, mental body, emotional body, and spiritual body are all going through their process of these physical ascension symptoms. They all have a role in it, and it's us judging that it's wrong when they all know what they're doing. So don't be afraid of the physical ascension symptoms. You might have times where you feel very mentally unstable. That is normal, and it will come and go. Just know that you're not alone. Use things like sage if you have company over after they leave. Like, keep your space clean. I have a video on how to sage your house, so I'll put that in the description below. Thanks to everyone who joined us today, and for anyone who's coming this weekend, I'm looking forward to it. I will see you on Saturday. Have a great night.